Hey everybody, I'm Nathaniel Dodson from tutvid.com. Welcome right into this Adobe Premiere Pro tutorial, where today we're going to talk about creating this really cool cinematic open type effect in Premiere Pro, animating some masks. So whether you're interested in creating this effect, pretty cool, right? Or just how creating an animated mask can help you with all sorts of different projects, this is the tutorial for you. And speaking of tutorial for you, I got to bring out the paperwork here because this video is sponsored by our friends at productioncrate.com. They supply video and filmmakers with thousands of assets. I'm talking thousands of assets, lots of really cool stuff. For motion graphics and transitions and sound effects and music, they've got it all. And they've got a ton of free assets on their site as well. So it's not only the subscribe sort of premium stuff, they got a bunch of great free stuff on their site as well. And they've chosen to support this channel and help me continue to bring these videos to you guys so you can view them for absolutely free. So I really appreciate that. They really help us out. We love them a lot. I'd be absolutely thrilled if you would check them out and consider subscribing and showing them a little love. So with that out of the way, well, make sure you subscribe to this channel as well. And let's jump into Premiere and get this thing started. Okay, here we are in Adobe Premiere Pro. I'm going to right-click on my video clip and just create a new sequence from the clip, just like this. I'm going to zoom in by hitting my plus key a little bit, and I'm going to hold down Shift and scroll my mouse wheel just to open up my video a little bit more so I can see what's going on here in my timeline. I will just name this sequence. I'm just going to name it Rect, just so I know it's the recorded stuff. And the idea will be that this is the opening scene for our movie or something, right? And we want to make a nice kind of cinematic open that just works with what we've got going on here. So what I'll do is select the pen tool and choose the rectangle tool. And I'm just going to drag out a nice long, a thin but not too thin rectangle, something that's maybe about that sized. Next, I'm going to go Window and choose to open the Essential Graphics panel because it's just easier for working with a graphic like we're going to be here in just a second. I'm going to go ahead and hit Edit, and there my Shape 1 is already selected. The fill is red. Red is actually fine. You can choose whatever fill you want. It doesn't matter at all. First thing I'll do is just align this horizontally, vertically, all that. Now the problem here is that my anchor point is probably in this top corner of my rectangle. So if I go ahead and try to animate this by scaling it, you can see that the animation is going to come from that top corner. That is no good. So we want to begin playing with this anchor point here a little bit. Now I can see the anchor point if I, move my Essential Graphics panel over, grab my selection arrow, and when I do that, you can see the shape is selected, and that little crosshair looking circle thing in the top corner, that's the anchor point. The goal is going to be to get the anchor point down to the exact middle of our shape, or as close to that as we can. Now, as far as I know, Premiere Pro doesn't have an auto anchor to the middle of the current selected shape option, which is a little annoying, but we can work around it here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom in on this a little bit. So I'm going to go like 150%, and then I'm going to scroll way over. And what I want to do first is get this point down so it aligns with the very middle anchor point here, or transform handle, I guess I should say. This is the exact middle of the vertical, or the height of our shape. So I'm going to drag until that point is right about there. And I'm just taking note of where this is. This is at 46. So I would just make a note of that, 46. Now I'm going to return this to 0 because I also want to align my anchor with the transform handle out here. So I'm going to just drag this until it's aligned with that, and that is 1008. So 1008, great, and then I'm going to say 46 for this, boom, and that anchor point should now be pretty much as close to the center of the shape as we can get it. Weirdly annoying, a bizarre little workaround, but it's just something we've got to do. So I'm going to go back to fit. The problem is now our shape is way off screen. No problem, we can align and transform, get that guy right back to the center of our document just like that. Again, this is all important because now if we scale this down, you can see that it's going to scale up and out from the very center of the document and not some weird animation from one edge. That's going to really allow us to do what we need to do with this guy in just a moment. Let's take a quick break here from this tutorial, and I want to dab up our sponsor, productioncrate.com, once more, show them how much we care. I brought out the paper so I can get through my thoughts precisely and quickly, so we're not wasting your time or my time or anyone's time. Productioncrate.com, it's a great site for picking up a wide variety of video editing assets. They've got transitions, After Effects templates, lens flares, visual effects, and so much more. So much more, if you know what I'm saying. You just got to check them out. Not only do they offer a number of free resources that you can go and download right now, go there right now and just check out the free stuff, that's cool, but a subscription, it's only $39 a year, so that equals to like $3.25 a month. It's like a cup of coffee, come on. A cup of coffee a month to have access to all this stuff, and you can take as much of it as you want once you're subscribed. It's really, if there's such a thing as a win-win-win, this is like a triple win. Hardly a heavy price to have instant access to a library of video editing assets you'll love. See, I even kind of wrote that down and conveyed my thoughts there. Go check them out and consider subscribing over at productioncrate.com by using the link that's right down there in the description to this video. Let's get back to work in this tutorial. Thank you, Production Crate. I can close the Essential Graphics panel now, and we're going to take a look at animating the scale down here. So I'm going to actually uncheck Uniform Scale because we want to just scale horizontally. We want this to begin in the middle, shoot out to the sides, and then slowly move upward. So I am going to begin the animation. I'm going to make sure my playhead is all the way at the beginning of this clip, and I'm going to hit the stopwatch to toggle on animation, and I will set the horizontal scale to 0. It's going to make it disappear. No problem. I'm going to bump out about 5 frames so I can come down here to my timeline. You can see we deselected the shape. That's actually fine, or the graphic. That's fine. I'm going to hold down Shift and tap my right arrow key once, maybe twice. We'll make it take 10 frames. Shift and the right arrow key twice. That jumps us out 10 frames. Select that graphic. And then back into here, what I can do is simply change the horizontal scale to 100. And now, if I play through this, we just have a nice little thing shooting right out like that. I'm going to hit the go to previous keyframe. I'm going to hit Shift and tap the arrow key once, maybe twice more. Let's make that go a little bit slower. So we're going 20 frames. There we go. Something like that is kind of cool. And now that we have it making that shape, let's move back to where this last frame is right here. And I'm going to choose a vertical scale now. So I'm going to say toggle the vertical scale on. We're going to leave it at 100% where it is. That's totally fine. We can adjust that later anyway. And then I'm going to bounce out 4 seconds or so beyond. So we're at 20 frames. So let's go out to 420 right there. And we are going to just pull the vertical scale until this shape covers the entirety of our video. So now if I play through this, you can see we have something shoot out and then slowly, slowly, slowly fade up and just reveal our scene as the sun rises here for the opening of our film. Side tip, I've just noticed that really slow animations, 3, 4, 5 seconds, they just work better. I mean, even all the way up to 8 or 9 seconds can even look good. So just really take your time and slowly introduce the scene to the viewer. Another thing we can do, we can select these keyframes, and I could right-click. We could add a little bounce to this with a little auto Bezier easing. I'll do the same thing here. It's going to be kind of hard to see with the slow animating, but maybe it's worth it. In fact, maybe what we should do is, well, yeah, you can see there's a little bit of interesting movement there. Once we convert this to a mask and I show you how it unveils the scene, then I'll show you what we can do in terms of editing the easing as long as I remember. In fact, let's go ahead and convert this to a mask right now, and then we'll go ahead and blur the edges of this later. So I'm going to select Hospital Sunrise, the actual MOV clip, and I'm going to go to my effects panel right here. And here in the effects panel, we are going to search for something called track matte key. So I can type in track, and there it is, video effects keying track matte key. I can drag and drop that on the .mov clip, and I'm going to choose to set the matte to video 2. Why video 2? Well, because the V2 track here, video 2, as opposed to video 3, that is where my graphic is. That's where my animated mask is. So I'm going to say, look, matte using video 2. Uh-oh, the video goes away, but if I play it, hey, look at that. That animated mask we created is revealing the video, just like so. Very, very, very cool. Now, we can make some changes here. One thing I want to do is blur the edges of this line that's revealing this. So we'll select our graphic. I'll come back to my effects panel, and we'll find a Gaussian blur. So there we go. I just type GAU, Video Effects Blur and Sharpen Gaussian Blur. Drag and drop that on the graphic. I'm going to blur only the verticals here, and I'm going to set the blurriness to 100. So that's going to give me this nice thick blur. And I also want to tick on Repeat Edge Pixels. So now what we've got is this type effect, where that looks pretty cool, right? And it's just going to kind of fade away up to the top like that. You can see right at the end, you see how it just goes from being blurred to nothing? That's kind of annoying, but it has to do with this repeat edge pixels, but we really need it turned on, because if we don't turn it on, we're just going to have this constant faded edge at both the top and bottom of our mask there. So we're just going to turn that on and just kind of let it do what it does, and I don't think anybody will really notice, to be honest. We could fade away the overall mask right at the end, but you can tinker and play with it if you like. I'm just going to leave it the way it is, though. I think I also want to apply a horizontal Gaussian blur as this shape is coming out. I want to just blur these hard edges. They're a little visible, so I just want to kind of soften them up. So we'll drag a second Gaussian blur, and the reason that I'm not just setting this to horizontal and vertical is because I don't want this to be 100 pixels. That's going to be too much. I'm going to set this to horizontal, and we'll just do something smaller like 50, something like that, and we can just let this be. You can see now we open it, and we fade up, and that looks pretty nice. And of course, because the trackback key is an animated mask, or just an animated shape that we're using as a mask, we can always select this graphic, we can open up our shape options here, and we can change we could make the horizontal scale happen faster. We could come in here, and this is the trick I was going to show you before, we can tick down or toggle down with that arrow, use some custom easing here, select these 2 keyframes, and we could say, you know what, make it animate really fast at the beginning, and then get really slow toward the end. So something like this, we could make it go a bit faster at the beginning and then just really slow down toward the end and just see kind of what works for it. Something like that maybe. Let's see what that looks like. So it's going to go a bit faster and then just really slow down. So if that's kind of what you're looking for, that's a little too extreme for me. I think I'm going to slow it down a little bit. I'll pull this out a little bit to slow it down at the end. Maybe have the beginning start out a little slower as well. And I think something like that will work and look pretty nice. But the point is, at least you have some options here when it comes to how that easing really takes effect on your mask. And very quickly and easily, you can create this kind of cool animated video intro. I'm previewing the low quality version of it, but you get the point, right? Looks pretty stinking cool. Very cinematic. I like it. So yeah, that is pretty much how we create this cinematic open. It's how you create a mask that you want to animate, and there's really the sky's the limit when it comes to animated masks. So much cool stuff you can do with them, including that neat little cinematic open effect right there. So nice and cool. If you did enjoy this tutorial, again, make sure you subscribe to my channel, turn those notifications on so you never miss a video, past, present, or future. If you're into Discord, you can join our Discord server as well, discord.me/tutvid, or check me out over on Instagram, instagram.com/tutvid. My handle is at tutvid. Guys, thank you so much for sticking around for this, for taking a look at animating stuff, playing with the anchor points, which is kind of weirdly annoying, but bizarrely satisfying all at once, playing with a little bit of easing and gaussian blur and everything else that we covered in this video tutorial. I'm entering my zone. Guys, for this one, that's it. Get it? Got it? Good. Nathaniel Dodson, tutvid.com. I'll catch you in the next one. And before you go, make sure you subscribe to my channel for more great tutorials every day. Also, buy my course. It helps us do what we do, and this channel is supported by viewers just like you. You can also just click the thumbnail and watch another video from this channel. See you next time, guys.